So today is one of our mental health segments, and we're going to talk about purifying and purging, clarifying your overall inner being so that you can receive what you need in your life. So I'm going to let Dee go ahead and get it started. Take us away.
Let's start with purging first. So you know how it's December 1st, we're going into the end of the year, right? And then a lot of people do like New Year's resolutions and all of those things. So in that mind frame, I was thinking about the fact that it generally takes about 30 days to establish a new routine or new habit. And it also takes about 30 days to quit things. So like say that you're smoking cigarettes. If you can not smoke a cigarette 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, all the way through to 30, generally they say that you've beat this thing. Well, most of us start off New Year's Eve making a, what do you even call those?
Resolutions.
Making a resolution. By January 2nd, 3rd, or 5th, you already done fell off working out, but now you're paying for a membership, stuff like that, right? So with that being said, the fact that we're about to be on vacation and traveling the whole month of December, I started purging early. So by purging, there's multiple ways to purge, right? So physical things. I always kind of go through, sort, clean out, declutter, even the volume of supplements that are being ordered in this household per month. You know, things expire, and sometimes you have so much stuff, it gets pushed to the back of the cabinet. Before you know it, you buying the same thing over and over. So inevitably, I started sorting our home, and you know how we donated some stuff? So that's one way of purging physical things, right? And decluttering. Well, you also want to declutter the mind, right? All the different things and goobly goop or past traumas. And then, besides that, emotionally, different people that's causing resistance, trauma, pain in your life. Purge, 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 right? So, as we were removing some things that needed to be removed, we also started adding new things, right? So this healing journey, the positivity. And so let's just say that there's bad people. We didn't look at it like all people are bad. It was just remove the ones that don't work for us out of our lives. And now bring in new, right? So you know some people say no new friends. Is it that you can't really have any new friends, or is it that you need to filter, right? Monitor who's in your inner being kind of thing. So this purifying thing is the next thing. Once you get rid of and replace, you have to replenish. So then you bring in the newness, right? The new people, the new exchanges, the positive energy. And so I was telling my wife, I said, basically we've been talking about we're about to go on vacation and we're going to replenish. But we've been doing that in so many aspects of our lives. Like I said, from the physical things to the emotional to the well-being of people. Who's in my circle? Who has access? Who's, because it should be mutually beneficial. You know, a good word, positive interactions type thing. And so I don't know what I'm basically saying because it's not prepared, but I felt like
I get what you're saying, and you know, it's amazing how sometimes, like I won't lie. I would not lie. I'm just glad that I have her in my life because she balances me out. Growing up with nothing, and then accumulating things. I can't lie. I have been over time attached to things, material things, because it's something that you work hard for. And I have learned through listening to some of the positive information we listen to, and through her, because sometimes she has to give me a little push, you know, to go in the right direction. But it's amazing that sometimes when you let go of things, like when she was getting rid of things that we donated, you know, she'd be like, Nurse Chris, get away from the bag. You don't need this.
She'll double check the garbage in the bag.
Making sure it ain't nothing I really wanted, that even though I haven't wore it and who knows when, you know. And it's amazing. I mean, a lot of us get attached to the things, and you have to learn how I just make sure somebody said they couldn't hear. You have to learn to let go. And since I've been in the habit of, doing what she is encouraging me to do, implementing that, and also, like I said, some of the positive things and people that we listen to, on YouTube or whatever, they talk about letting go. Even when you hear the term let go and let God lead the way, it applies in so many aspects of life. It's not just something that you may be worried about, but it also can be, letting go of things, letting go of people, or that are maybe toxic,
old ideals or ideologies that no longer serve you, right?
So it's amazing that when you start letting go of things, and we've kind of been doing this since we relocated from Michigan. We had to leave things behind, things that were important to us.
So we thought
were important to us. And it's amazing how the universe and God opens up to give you what you need in your life. Even people sometimes that are not, do not have your best interest at heart, and that may be pulling you down versus lifting you up. Or as my wife says, celebrating you versus tolerating you. When you start to let those individuals go, it may take a while, but you don't even have to go out and look for the people that you need or for the things that you need in your life. It comes to you. Things that you didn't even expect that you wanted in your universe, and you may have thought about it subconsciously over the years. It comes to you. You just have to trust the process. I'm telling you guys, it sometimes, we have a habit of collecting things. I mean, we got stuff from 1982 when I was born, I'm just giving an example. Like sometimes you got to let stuff go so you can clear your mind, clear that clutter. I mean, we are going into the new year. So, just think about it, holding on to that stuff that we haven't even seen that's collecting dust. Why do we still have it? We can't take it with us when we die. And then our loved ones have to deal with all of it.
Facts.
I mean, even us, we've, had loved ones die. And, matter of fact, we have to sell a couple fur coats. So anybody interested in, I'm just saying, we got, but I'm just saying, you collect things from people that may have passed away, and you don't have it, you have it with you. And you collect it from this loved one and that loved one. Just take one small item, because chances are you're not going to use it, and maybe donate it or sell it or something. But you have to learn how to get in the habit of letting go of things, people, clear your slate so you can, purify your life in general.
So when people talk about living abundantly, don't get me wrong, even with all the things that we're getting rid of, or as some people say, downsizing, we still have stuff, right? So it was just an over amount of things, right? Let's just take something simple. Pots and pans. How many sets of pots and pans did we have? Mm-hmm. We had pots and pans at the RV. We had pots and pans at the boat. We have pots and pans here, right? And in between all them 3 sets of pots and pans, not at all 3 of those places at one time, and then you're intermittently traveling, right? So everything that you have, you have to keep the maintenance up on it, right? And then when it's sitting, it's almost like it's rotting, mm-hmm. if you're not constantly using it or whatever. Mm-hmm. So then when you reassess, okay, we've done this for this many years, and we've enjoyed this, and we've done that. Well, where are we currently, and what is it that we're about to do next or in our future? And does our current situation or our future situation pertain to the things that we had and the things that we were doing, how we were doing it, right? So basically, we reassess. Even insurance brokers for car insurance, they say every 6 months, check to see if there's something better. What she's doing with insurance, check to see every year if there's something better. Well, you can also put that towards the things that you're doing in life, the things that you have. As your situation changes, we have to be pliable and adaptable and willing to change with those things. And so I told my wife, I said, we're not losing anything, right? It's not like a fire sale. We're just choosing to do things differently than we've done them in the past. And sometimes you can't explain it to other people or show them what you're doing. You just have to do what you're doing, how you're doing it. And even this conversation we're having today, we're not filling in the blanks on every single thing. But later you'll see, and you'll come back to this and maybe think in your mind, that makes sense. That must have been what they were talking about.
That makes sense. Thank you, Natalie, for those 200 stars. You're going to be in the giveaway. We had some really good comments. Loretta Shanklin says, yes, you have to let things go and people, because it stops your blessing. Teresa said, I pray about this every day. Tracy says she needed to hear this talk today. Yes. Ayoki said, yes, letting go feels so refreshing. I left Detroit in 2011 and moved to Dallas. I didn't know anybody in Texas, but the best move ever. Yes. And then Loretta said, yes, let go, and you don't want and need things and donate them to the homeless. Yes. Natalie says, I'm getting rid of stuff. Amen. Good for you. Good for the progress that you guys are willing to make.
I do one room at a time. So say I'm in a guest bedroom. I look through the drawers, the cubbies, the closet, and finish out a room. Then I go to the next guest bedroom. And then I go, maybe our bedroom last, in the cabinets. And then in the kitchen, the seasonings, the pantry, the vitamin section, just every single thing. So I'm throwing away. And then some things were donatable, right? Donate. And then I'm just organizing and how I do the closets and stuff. And then it's like, okay, the last time I purged, why didn't I get rid of this? It's amazing. That probably should have went last time. So now it can go this time, right? And so again, beyond the physical, actual things and assessing the people in our lives, right? And the new people who are coming in, who it's, very hopeful and but we might not have had room or space for the new people if we didn't purge what we purged, right? And I realized the people we purged, let's just say the last year or two, all the things that she and I have been through this year, we might not have had the mental capacity to survive those things if our energy had been split. Because we had people in our life that were literally dividing our energy, right? Or they've got so much going on and they need so much, whatever it is, that you're not fulfilled and whole within yourself to deal with your own trials and tribulations. Because that's what life is. Stuff is constantly coming. And so even in seeking friendships outside of the marriage, they need to be healthy friendships that don't try to separate or divide within the relationship either. You know what I mean?
So I know that, sometimes we're used to holding on, but just trust. 'Cause she had to make a believer out of me. I ain't gonna even lie, I'm just so glad, again, I had this balance in my life, through my wife, because I used to be attached to the things, but now I have come to learn and see.
Less is more.
Less is truly more.
And sometimes it's hard to hear it from somebody who appears to have a lot, but we figured that thing out. And maybe it'll take certain people, well, let me see for myself. Let me get a whole bunch of stuff and then see if I don't need the stuff.
And again, all of us have a testimony. A lot of us have been in situations where we grew up with nothing. And then we work hard. But, the American dream is, go to school, get a job, get a career, accumulate this, accumulate that, grind, and then we make ourselves, without even knowing, we make ourselves a slave to the things. And then we have to stay working that extra overtime, or we have to stay with this job that may be weighing us down mentally because we done accumulated all these things. Now we got to keep it up. And it can be, it's something else, it's really something else. So,
I'll give y'all, can I give a personal?
Go ahead, give a personal.
My mother passed in 2009. She literally worked for General Motors for 30 years. My mother never liked her job, not a day of it. But she had one job for 30 years. She didn't bounce around, a whole bunch of different jobs. And The back in the day, people made good money. So the money was good, but the labor was rough, right? And so after working 30 years and retiring in like April, she was diagnosed with cancer in August. How many months is that in between?
About 5, 6, something like that.
So with that being said, she didn't even have a chance to roll her money down before she was sick. So then they told us, you got 18 months to get your affairs in order. Most people think, oh, do some bucket list stuff. And don't get me wrong, she had lived before that, but she lived on the weekends. She lived on them 2-week vacations in between the grind of that physical labor job, right? So she only lived 11 weeks though. It wasn't 18 months. So to see somebody hate what they do, but build the best life they could out of it and intermittently enjoy in between, and then get sick and be gone, and then all that stuff she worked for, she wasn't here to enjoy it. So when she passed at 55, and now I'm 50, it affects how I operate, how I live. I want to live now, and I want to live every day, and I want us to be prepared for if my grandmother, she turned 95 in January. So I'm somewhere in between this and that. But I want to be able to afford to be here, right? And less is more. My parents had a boat. I had a boat. You know what I mean? You operate doing different things. Now we want to start traveling more. It's like every couple of years, the way that we live and operate, it moves and it evolves. But every time we make choices and decisions, we plan for what's happening. Give you another example. Nurse Chris, love the bedside. Nurse. Y'all already know, even in Walmart, somebody limping. She's like, oh, you need collagen powder, right? But with that being said, the physical work at the hospital was hurting her. My wife was like, I don't want to go from being at the bedside to being in the bed.
After 20 years in the field.
So with that being said, something that she loves, and she continues to help, like with you all, for instance, it gives her joy to be able to recommend supplements and stuff, right? But when Nurse Chris figured out that this physical job of the hospital is literally killing me, it's hurting me. Every time I take a contract, I get sick. So what can I do to transition into the insurance broker thing? Some of y'all might not know. It was 6 months of no nursing contract income. So when she told me the year before, hey, I think I want to switch over to this, I said, okay, what do we need to do to make that happen? Oh, it's going to be testing, training. You're not going to get money from that for 6 months, and we don't know what that money's going to look like. So we need at least 6 months of monthly, whatever our outgo is, so that you can transition into something that's going to be better for you physically, right? So that's what we did. We prepared. So could we stack? Did we call and tell people we about to stack and we not about to have this and that? Because our goal is to never have to call nobody and be like, hey, we short. Hey, can we? We do it within ourselves, right? So the point is making a plan, figuring out what it's going to take to get over there, and then following through. Now, lo and behold, I was a little nervous because let's be real, COVID nursing contracts, it was what it was. But now my wife is physically free of not having to be in a place that was making her sick. Mm-hmm. So now she's on the phone, which is a different type of lethargic mental exchange, but she's still helping people, right? And it's mutually beneficial because now we can go see my brother unexpected. She could just work in a car. She can be wherever and do what she needs to do. So she freed herself by planning to do things differently because the thing she loved was no longer serving her. And so I'm just giving y'all examples that come to mind of different times that we've had to pivot in our lives
and let go. Yeah. So we have to learn to let go, even though it can be hard, and we just have to trust the process and see that things will always work out in your behalf when you're willing to make those sacrifices. When you want to hold on to things and or people that are not beneficial for you, I mean, it's amazing how when you let go, your load gets lighter. Mm-hmm. Your load starts to get lighter, even in here where it matters the most. So we just wanted to give you guys this positive message this morning and just something to think about as we go into the new year. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to let go. And in terms of even family members that you love and hold near and dear to your heart, but they're not, giving you what you need emotionally, or they're tearing you down, don't be afraid to love them. It's not that you're going to stop loving them. Love them from a distance.
Toxic people are like toxins in the body, right? So we've been purging and we've been purifying, and
things are working out.
It's been beautiful.
So we're living examples, and we want to continue to, as we learn things, we want to continue to share them with you. And encourage and motivate you to do the same. Just try it and you'll see. Yes. Alicia Applegate said, this is so what I needed. Thank you. And Brenda said, yes, indeed. Latricia, amen. Can I get an amen? That's what's up.
So today is December 1st. You might want to get started cleaning house, emotionally, financially, going over some things. We try not to go into the new year, definitely not in debt, not owing. And even Christmas, Grayson got a couple of things under the tree, but we really don't blow, and because it's about life daily. Christmas is every day. You know what I'm saying? And so I just encourage everybody to do what you can, when you can, how you can, but start putting yourself first, because everything that we're operating off is she and I first. And then everything else has to fill in where it does. And then we're intentional about our time and the time that we do have, the downtime, the fun time, who we share that with. And again, it's getting really good, guys. It's starting to pan out. It's working out. So everything gonna be all right.
All right. Loretta said, you guys, I love this. My circle is already small. I had started removing toxic things this summer, and I'm loving this. You guys are so cool. Thank you so much.
And it's an adjustment when that phone is not blowing up as much, or it's not ringing, or you even pick it up like, is this thing on? But imagine if it was ringing a lot. What would be coming in? What would we need to do? Let me give one more analogy before we get off here. The boss we sick thing, right? Remember that one?
Mm-hmm.
So I was told this story by, I called her an elder statesman, an older lady. She always told me about this I ain't begging and I ain't borrowing story. So she said two stories. She said it was a lady in her neighborhood that was always asking for a dime. Now this lady was a lot older, so of course the money don't apply to today. But she was always begging and borrowing. And so she used to always tell people, if you give me the dime, when I get my lawsuit or something she had coming in, she was like, I'll pay you back. So she had been saying it for years and nobody really believed her, right? She said, and that lady did come into some money later. And then people used to ask her, and she used to be like, I ain't begging and I ain't borrowing, because those people hadn't served her when she was asking, right? And so she was just saying that her, as a young lady growing up, always seeing that lady begging and borrowing, she said to herself, I don't ever want to beg or borrow. And that's pretty much how we operate, right? So then she said, you also have to adapt a mentality that when people call you and be like, I'm going through this, I'm going through that, and then you on the other end like, oh, what we got to do? Oh, are we sick? Oh, we in trouble? You take on other people's burdens as if they're yours, even though they're not doing any of the work or anything to navigate their own life or to solve any of those problems. And even though when you give what you're about to give, they still gonna need it next month and the next month and the next month, whatever, right? So the example she gave was, back during slavery times, you had the people who worked outside, and they usually worked in the back of the house, right? But then you had some people who were privileged and got a chance to be in the front of the house, right? People used to call them the HNIC. So the man that's in charge of our people that's looking like us is in the front of the house, and therefore his children and his descendants also get a little extra privilege. So she said one day the boss was sick. And so the HNIC tells his kid to come to the front. His kid is 4 years old. His kid is so excited to get to come to the front of the house to be on the front porch, right? And so this is how the story goes. The HNIC tells the boss, hey, take your socks off and take your boots off. And the guy does it. He takes his socks off, he takes his boots off. So then he tells his son, the 4-year-old little boy, hey, you strip down. Take all your clothes off. He tells his son to take his clothes off and lay on the porch. So now imagine this 4-year-old little boy on the porch. So now the boss takes his socks and shoes off and sits his feet on the little boy's belly. And he's in a rocking chair. And so literally the ideology of it is my sickness is going to drain out of my physical body down into this little baby, into this little boy, right? Which the fathers believes this. Boss, we sick. If you sick, we sick. So let my kid take on your sickness. So as messed up as that visual is and all of that, because I feel it every time, the part that hurts me is she says, but the little boy coils around the feet because he's excited to take it on. And then he goes, boss, we sick, boss. And so I never forgot that. And so I used to give till I didn't have it to give. I used to pour from my cup till my cup was empty. I used to basically dehydrate myself, hydrating everyone else. And then I had an epiphany and all these life experiences and all these deceased family members who were matriarchs and put everybody else before them, and now they're not here. So these are just a bunch of different tidbits to give you some backstory into how we've evolved to where we are. If there's no you, there's no them. And I can't keep putting you ahead of me, definitely ahead of us. And so.
Well, thank you for sharing. Alicia Applegate said, I lost myself by putting everyone first, my children and now my grandchildren. It's time for me because I'm not getting any younger. I'll be 60 in February and I feel, this part is sad, I feel so empty.
Aww.
I've given myself to all others. Well, guess what, Alicia? I understand what you're going through.
The first step is acknowledgement. You've
right.
acknowledged, and now don't continue to beat yourself up for what you have done. But now as you start working on you, be prepared. They're still going to call. They're still going to need. You're going to start saying no.
You're going to have to put those boundaries.
Don't feel bad about the no. And then some of the people, because you're not writing checks no more, they might stop calling.
That's okay, though. It's good for you. So now you have to refill your cup, by listening to positive messages. We wake up sometimes listening to Abraham Hicks, very inspiring messages.
The 430 hertz.
That at nighttime I listen to 432 hertz frequency to rest my mind and enter into a healing, peaceful sleep on YouTube. Mm-hmm. Also, we wake up listening to V as in Victor, Y as in yes, B as in boy, O. That's a channel
VYBO
on YouTube, and it's inspiring messages. So start surrounding yourself.
Bob Proctor, Joe Dispenza talks about healing the body through healing the mind.
Mm-hmm.
Just start to fill
Put
in
that
your time.
information. Yes, find a good book, read 10 pages a day to replenish yourself. And even though you feel empty, know that feeling is not forever, as long as you do your part to get to where you need to go.
Absolutely.
So we're wishing peace and happiness and love to you and each and every one of you guys today. So it's okay to purge, and then you have to take time to purify, put the more positive things, even when it comes to food and what you're putting in your body. It's okay to stop. Like I had to get off sugar because it was hurting me. And every once in a while when I dibble and dabble back into it,
we be jacked up.
I feel it. That's why D, she's messing around way back from Florida, had some stuff she shouldn't have had. And last night on camera, if y'all noticed, she was a little bit not feeling well, mm-hmm. and it came and she was getting a little sick, but Nurse Chris loaded her up last night and she's better today. But
one more thing, those of you who have started setting the boundaries and the parameters on what you will allow and what you won't allow, because we all know people treat you the way you allow, around the holiday time, them sapsuckers that you think you got rid of, they gonna start calling and reaching out and testing to see if they can wiggle their way back in. And hey, some of them are gone for a reason. That's all I'm saying. So don't be shocked or, oh, they miss me. They should miss you. You the shit. And you a blessing to be around.
That's right.
And they got the water in the well run dry after it's dry. Well, leave it dry and leave it where it's at, okay?
That's right. That's right. Carol Davis said, been there, done that. I've always put my kids, family first, and let myself go. Now I stand up for myself and say no, or I can't. Everything you said is so true. Thank you, Dee. Darlene Williams said, we have been trying to hang on to the beef jerky business for grandkids because they run market days for us. But we are tired because grandpa and grandma stay in the jerky shop every day making jerky for market days. Let me tell you guys.
And one more thing, let me bump in here.
Hold on, I need to comment on that.
I am too.
Okay, well, you go ahead then.
Let's use my mother for an example. What if you in that store every day and you making the money and you trying to set them up, and then as soon as you gone, they lose it within 3 to 6 months or a year?
It can happen.
Now, what if y'all don't take a vacation, a break, and see the fruits of your labor? You're not living in between while you're still here.
So if you have the ability to just shut it down so that you and your husband can live and enjoy life, please don't be afraid to do that. Your life, each and every one of us, no matter what age we are, our life is valuable. And you have to see that for yourself. Take time to go travel, even if it's a 4-hour travel. If you can financially let it go, collect your Social Security, the money you stack and save. I know it's life, you can, we understand that, we want to leave a legacy.
What about this?
Sometimes our legacy is not financial. Sometimes our legacy is our example.
Or stack some of the money for y'all to live off of and set up a trust for them.
Amen.
And divvy it out over a period of time so that they don't burn through it quick. There's a way to still assist them when you're gone, but you still live now.
That's right.
It's not either or.
Yeah, you can have it all. You can have it all. Well, we love you guys so much, and we thank you for tuning in. We thank you for the stars.